Likutei Moharan to Yud Aleph. Yes.
Torah?
Yud Aleph. To Yud Aleph. So, after we have explained that after a person speaks the Dibur Torah in his mouth loudly, he's like the Diburim will shine to him to do tshuva. And with this, he will do more tshuva and more tshuva. And himself, he'll be able to understand the depth of Divrei Torah, of the words of Torah. Now, the Rebbe explains how this mahalach is hinted to, is alluded to in the question of Yochani and Mamre to Moshe, and they were the chief warlocks, Chashvim in Mitzrayim, and the answer that Moshe answered them. They asked Moshe when he started doing the moifsim, the miracles before Parah. So, you know, this is too dark. I'm trying to make it much better now. They were under the impression that Moshe Rabbeinu was doing magic. You know, that he was using magic. So they asked him in Masechet Menachos. They asked him, says, "Tevet hamachnis leEphraim, you're trying to bring some wheat to Monsanto wheat silo. I mean, bring a bag of wheat to one of those silos. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know how many thousands of tons of wheat. So you bring Teven to Ephraim. In other words, you come to do magic in Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is full of magic and witchcraft. And he answered them, people say, there's a famous saying, there's a common saying that people say. People say to the town where there's a lot of vegetables, bring vegetables. Why? Because everybody comes there to buy the vegetables. They said that somebody once came to Sadman Rebbe, and he said that he wants to open a store for shirt store. Yeah. Where should he go to sell the store? So he told him Orchard Street. Orchard Street is, all the clothing stores are on Orchard Street. So because that's what people come there to buy. That's the everybody buys it. In other words, since they told him, dvarim of leitzunas, they were like joking with him. So he joked back with him. But what's alluded to inside the Diburim is Tevin, which is hay. This is Tevin, is a pchinas tvuna. Tvuna is comprehension. Tvuna titzarecha. It's one of the conjugation of bina is tvuna. I'm not exactly sure what's the difference between bina and tvuna, but there is a difference. I'm not really sure what it is. It says tvuna titzarecha. If you learn Torah, and the Torah, which is chokhmah and tvuna, it will protect you. Yeah. So you see, the Torah is an aspect of tvuna. It has chokhmah in it. It has very deep comprehension in it. And Mimele, the question of Yochani Mamre is as follows. Shehem evinu sheMoshe rotze lachnis tvunas haTorah b'Yisrael. They understood that Moshe wants to bring a comprehension of the deep concepts of the Torah to Am Yisrael. Once they'll come out of Mitzrayim, they'll receive the Torah and they'll understand the depth of the Divrei Torah. So, אבל כן שאלו, there's everyone that asked, כי בזמן שאין ישראל עושים רצונו של מוקום, at the time when Am Yisrael are not doing what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants them to do, they are akin to sand. That's something which is worthless. In other words, this is, Haman said, Megillah says, this nation is akin to sand and is akin to the stars. When it does, when it does with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, the Rotzon Hashem, it is considered, like stars, and that is the higher in the world. When they don't do it, when they try to win the Eurovision, or they try to win the Nobel Prizes, they try to make movies, or whatever it is, so they're up for it. They try to play soccer, they try to play football, play basketball, and this is then it's they are like sand, they're worthless. How can you possibly bring them to such a high stature, to understand, to comprehend the depth of the words of Torah? וזה תבן ושם תבונס התורה. אתה מכניס לאפרים, you bring to something מבחינת אופר, in other words, such a low madrigal. והשיב להם משה רבינו, said as follows, Amre inchi, people say, and what it means is that in other through the sayings, through the dibur of a Jew, of Ish Israeli, it shines to him to all the places where you need to do tshuva. Vezeu lemata yarko. Mata means a place, yarko means green. למקומות שצריך לעשות תשובה, כי ירקו היא בחינת תשובה. As it says in the Medrash, that when Avraham Avinu went to fight against the four Malachim, v'yark es chanichov, he sped up his chanichim. He gave him a pep talk. He aroused them. He got them going. So the Yarek means that he drove them on. He got them excited. He got them, got them quick. He says, and Chazal said, what does it mean? So why did you the Yarek? Orikon bepashas shoftim, that he made their faces green in Pashas Shoftim. In other words, he told them before they went to the war, in Pashas Shoftim it says, Mi ha'isha yareh v'rach lavav, who is the person who is fearful and is scared to go, should go back to his house, v'chulu. So Chazal said, what is yareh v'rach lavav? What it means somebody who is fear? He fears what? Everybody fears battle. What do you mean? He says, yareh ma'averes shebeyodeh, that he's afraid that since he has Averis in his hands, he's susceptible to get knocked on the head, so, and shezer zon asot tshuva, in other words, Avraham Avinu, he pushed him to do tshuva. כי פשע שופטים אמר על תשובה, מי שיעבר רח הלבב, חז"ל said, וירא מעברש ביודעי. He's afraid since he did Averis, he's going to die in the war. That's why let him go back to his house, shouldn't go to the Mechama. Which means Avraham Avinu, he got he pushed his people to do tshuva so they shouldn't die in the war. And since he said the lotion is Orikan, that's why Yarko is Mishon Orikan. It's so the in of tshuva. It's an unbelievable thing. Shaul HaMelech astonishing figures in the Divrei Yomim of Am Yisrael, the history of Am Yisrael. Unbelievable. It's the first Malach, and it's like and he gets Shmuel up with by the witch, and they get him up. They bring him back. They bring his. An astonishing scene, the whole thing. That he tells them. Shmuel tells him, tomorrow you and your sons are going to be with me. The next day is going to die. But there's also something else which is said there. He says, in me, with me, which means in Gan Eden, with Shmuel and Shmuel, to be together with Shmuel. Yeah. It's not a small thing. So what was he do? What did he do to be Zeichel? So they said that he told him, he says, why did you bring me? So he said, that I need answers. The Nevi'im don't give me the answers. But he didn't mention that he didn't get answers in the Urim and Tumim, the breastplate of the Kohen. He didn't get answers. Why didn't he mention that? Because it's also happened. It's also another reason he didn't get answers. Because he killed Noiv, the city of the Kohanim. 80 Kohanim died then. And he was embarrassed. Yeah. He was embarrassed. He did tshuva on this thing. But there was another honey trap in what Shmuel Navi told him. Chazal tell us that Shmuel and Shaul and his sons would be with him, Shmuel, only if they died the next day. Chazal tell us that Shaul could have postponed the battle, not going to the battle, and he would save himself and his sons. Possibly maybe, continue the melucha, whatever. When a person is in dire straits, and he for sure was in dire straits at that, at that point in time. Tomorrow you and your sons are with me, which means only if the next day they die. So when he went back to the palace, he spoke to Yonasan, his son, These two unbelievable tzaddikim, and he asked him, what did Shmuel say? So he said, we're going to war tomorrow. So his son asked him, what's going to be the outcome? So Shaul told him, anything can happen in a war. Anything can happen in a war. So Shaul asks Yonasan, what are you going to do if you knew that tomorrow you died? What would you do? Yeah. So Yonasan said, I would do tshuva. So Shaul said, so I think this is probably what we should do. And Yonasan said in one corner, and Shaul said in another corner, both did tshuva. And it's like, it's it's not Prince William, it's not Prince Charles, it's not that scheur, it's like man. So he says that Arika Pasha Shoiftim. This is what Moshe Rabbeinu answered Yochanan Mamre. Amrein shelemata Yaakov. In other words, the sayings, the diburim, the dibur of a Jew through the deer of a Jew, lemato, to the place, Yaakov, tshuva, to the place, then it will bring him to the places where he needs to be tshuva. Yoylu adibur, the dibur will illuminate to him. Shuchal asat tshuva, should be able to do tshuva. This is what Moshe Rabbeinu says, Yoka Shkol. Shkol is, literally it means taking, but Shkol is a shon mishkol, balance. So Yaakov talks about tshuva. Shkol means balance. B'chinas tshuvas hamishkol, which means a counterweight tshuva. That the dibur will illuminate to a person the severity of his averis. Until she will be able to do a tshuva that will counter the severity of the avera. According to the anor that the person had enjoyed from the avera, he should be mitzvah himself from whatever it is, if it's a kindness or eating less or drinking less or less pleasure, whatever it is, and cleanse his body from that particular anor that he enjoyed the avera. There's also an inyan that they said that the tshuva has to be, with the same place with the same woman. In other words, if a person was pregnant with a woman at a certain place, tshuva can only be when if he arrives at that place with the same woman and he doesn't do it again. This is so Chazal said, there's many tzaddikim ask this question. Should that person bring himself to such an nisayon to go to the same place with the same woman? It's okay, beseda, but what do you have a heter to go there? So you say, enachinami, physically you're not allowed to go there, but your mind takes you there.
Yes.
And in your mind, don't let your mind get you there. Don't let your mind take you there. If your mind takes you there and you break it not to go there, but this is Shuvas HaMishkan. Up to here, Likutei Moharan for today.